Welcome to Wellness Interrupted,
where real wellness meets real life and sometimes real chaos.
We're Katie and Ryan, married couple, fitness lovers, parents, and business partners who have been through it all. We've lost 80 pounds between us, had a baby, and more than a few awkward conversations.
This podcast is your behind-the-scenes look to how we live out wellness individually and as a couple. From workouts and nutrition to mindset, relationships, and showing up for each other even when life gets messy.
Each week, we're pulling back the curtain to share what actually is working for us, what isn't, and how we're figuring it out together.
So whether you're on your own health journey, navigating a relationship, or just trying to get 1% better each day,
you're in the right place, so let's get into it. Hey everyone, welcome back to another episode of Wellness Interrupted. Today we're doing a fun episode with Ryan called Ask My Husband Anything, Marriage, Macros, and Mental Load.
Oh boy.
Woo! So I had you submit questions. We have so many good ones here. We're going to try to sort of rapid fire them, but I'm actually just excited because when you go back to the episode, we talked about conversations and tough conversations. I feel like some of these are ones that,
I don't know any of these questions, by the way.
I know, and I've just scanned and tried to get a handful that kind of go across the board here, but there's some of the ones that maybe I avoid talking to you about that I think are great to have in
You guys
here.
are reading Katie's mind and
Thanks,
giving her
girls.
all the questions she wants.
All right, so a few of them are a little juicy, some are more practical, but I just want to get into it. And I just love that you literally look like a deer in headlights right now.
Yeah.
You have no clue what's going on.
I feel a little terrified by the way you're looking at me right now.
Do you?
Yeah.
I feel a little nervous for you.
Great. This should be.
It's really great though.
Yeah.
Okay, so honestly, I do want to just jump right into these. They're no particular order, so we're going to go.
Okay.
You ready?
Yep.
Ooh, what's one thing I do that secretly drives you crazy, but you've learned to live with? Obviously, because we've been married almost 14 years.
I would say, that's a tricky one.
I think I'm going to rate his responses if I agree or disagree.
I think it's when you add tons of blankets and pillows to the bed at night because I would assume you think you're going to be cold, but then I come in to go to sleep an hour later and everything's off the bed, but then I have to get into this bed with all these blankets on it and I'm just like, now I'm hot. Why? And you also you have a body pillow that's the size of a body that I then have to sleep next to.
I'm a slide sleeper.
Yeah, but then it's like having a third person in the bed every night.
Some people have their children in the bed. You just have a pillow.
I mean, he would be smaller than the pillow.
That's true. I can't believe that's the thing that just annoys you the most or that drives you the most crazy. I'm sure there's a lot more than that.
No, that's one. Another one is that you leave your hair on the
this
shower.
This doesn't have to be pet peeves. Oh my God.
The shower wall.
This could be something deeper too, but I mean, that's great.
I mostly love everything you do.
Obviously. Perfect. Okay, thanks. Yeah, the shower thing, I don't even have that much hair that falls out.
You don't, but then I just look and I'm like, why is it there?
Okay, fine. This one is just for everyone. So what's one thing you wish more women knew about men? Oh, if you could give women one piece of advice.
These are heaters.
I know. It could go so many directions. But one thing you're women need to know this. That you believe is true for all men or most men.
Yeah, I think we talked about this a little bit in one of the previous episodes, but I think it's that the effort you put into the relationship does matter to men. Mm-hmm. I think sometimes women feel whether things get stagnant or whatever it is, that their husband doesn't care what kind of effort they put in either to looking a certain way or general hygiene or maybe if they have a lot of kids, they don't think their husband cares too much about dating in their relationship because they're always out with the guys and whatever. I think that's fair, but also I feel like I can speak for most men to say that's not true. I think that most men do care about those things. Maybe they don't admit it, but we certainly care.
Do you think you guys are conditioned not to care though?
I think we feel like we're supposed to not care a lot of times.
Yeah.
And that's not a healthy mindset to have, in my opinion.
Do you think, because I think in a lot of relationships, guys stop putting in a lot of effort too. Everyone does.
Yeah,
I think oftentimes, right? People always say whatever it is when you're first dating, that's the best it's going to be. I would say that you and I actually had that conversation when we first started dating.
Yeah.
And we're both very opposed to that. And I think we both work really hard to maintain or exceed where we were at when we first started dating.
Even when we got pregnant.
Yeah.
We had there's a bunch of people that want us to redo that video of the things we're never going to do when we're parents. And someone DM'd me the other day about it and asked, like, can you guys redo it? Or like, what is your take on it? And I told them, like, no, I'm pretty sure we haven't done like any of that.
I scanned it the other day, just as a quick aside. And honestly, I think that most of it, there's maybe a couple things, like, I'm trying to think of one that I thought, like, maybe like where if I'm referring to you in front of Luke, I will call you Daddy. I can't even say it with a straight face. But I don't call you Daddy. You know what I mean?
Well, what we meant is, I don't think that was on the list. Yeah, I think what we meant was we're not going to make posts like Mom and Dad's night out.
Yeah, I've never done that.
And if you do, like, good for you. But
I mean, fine. Sorry, guys. It's our own thing. Anyway, moving on. Okay. Do you ever feel pressure to be on all the time because of our platforms? Because like our whole life is here.
No, not really. I mean, more so now that I've started sharing my story and things a little bit more. Yes, I kind of understand where you're coming from on that, but also no, because I think we've built a really healthy, normal community of people here with Love Swift Fitness and everything that we do, that there's not these weird, crazy expectations. I see other creators and business founders out there on social media. And I can understand why they feel massive amounts of pressure from their community for a variety of things. Yeah. And I think we were talking about this earlier. I think that weighs so heavy, but it's also somewhat set by those people and what they wade into when they start making content or they put their life out there and they set expectations, and then those expectations weigh heavy. I think I just have expectations for our family that I want to make sure that we're succeeding and that we're always growing and we're not getting stagnant in what we do. Mm-hmm. But in terms of being on, no, I think like I'm just going to be myself and you're going to be yourself. And if people like that, cool. If they don't, I don't care.
Very true. Yeah. No, I would agree. And knowing you, no, you are who you are, like, which I love about you so much. And that, would you say, I feel like this is just my own follow-up question, but do you feel like you're more naturally an extroverted person or an introverted person?
I'm an extroverted person. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
But when I want to be, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I get that.
I think most people would say Ryan is a very extroverted person, but if I don't care to do something, I'm not great about pretending.
You are not good at pretending, no.
So
Ryan is like, no, not interested.
I think like I just qualify things in my brain of, is it a person or a thing that I feel a strong connection to? Do they value my friendship as much as I value theirs, or our relationship as much? And if so, like I'm always 100% going to be extroverted and show up. Yeah. And if not, and I feel like I just have to do it, then I'll, maybe I'll be there, but I'm not going to be the same person. Yeah,
I think it's funny because people are always surprised when I share. I actually, compared to some people, I'm very extroverted. I'm extroverted. I'm an extroverted introvert. I think I'm much more introverted. I don't naturally just like I would be happy sitting in the living room, like cozy for every weekend. You know what I mean? But I do get like so charged up in social such situations. But to your point, with the right people, like if I know you, I will talk for 10 hours and I could like talk to a wall. But
well, if we go somewhere and we want to make friends or be social, usually I'm the conversation starter. Yes. And not you.
Yeah, that's true. But I'm really nice.
You are.
Okay. What was your take? What's your take when you see Katie pushing herself too hard? Do you say something? Do you think I push myself too hard? I feel like you think I don't push myself hard enough more than too hard.
I don't think you push yourself too hard. I think that you often have more to give. I think that's just because your ceiling's really high. And I've seen you do such incredible things that I know what you're capable of. Yeah. And I think sometimes you sell yourself short or you'll stop short for different reasons. Yeah. So my take is usually you have more in the tank, and I think you should go for it because you can do incredible things.
It's usually fear because I like to be
Yeah.
I like to be successful, and so if I'm not certain that I will be, then I think I pull back and I hide a little bit.
Yes, I think that's true.
I do think I probably push myself too much in sometimes things that don't matter and put like pressure on myself that doesn't need to be there.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah. Okay, there we go. How do we each handle stress differently? We both have so much on our plates. How do we not let that cause distance in our relationship? That's look at you, a very specific question.
I honestly, maybe you can answer this better for me than I can. I don't really, it's kind of weird. I don't know how I handle stress, or I just don't get stressed.
I can answer.
Okay, go
Do you
ahead.
have more to say though?
No, thinking about it there, I just don't really know. Besides, I guess now it's working out probably is how I kind of burn off a lot of that stress, but you maybe have different insight.
So you don't you don't seem to be stressed 99% of the time. Like things annoy you a lot. I feel like you get heated and irritated by things quickly, but not stressed, if that makes sense. I don't know if that something will annoy you, but you don't like sit on it. It doesn't like consume your whole life, right?
No, it's not of consequence
okay,
usually.
but you don't get like normal stress. Like I'm like this most of the time. You're not a stressed out person.
No.
And so I think what happens though is maybe you just don't recognize your stress because I do think that it builds in you quietly. And I don't even realize that you're stressed at all. And then you have moments where something silly will happen and I'm like, whoa. And I think that like I have to like always check myself to remind myself that like you're allowed to be stressed out sometimes because you're always the like in control, level-headed, we got it, it's fine.
I tuck things away.
Yeah, which is probably not healthy to be honest.
Well, it's like I tuck them away, and if they don't really happen much more, then I just forget about them and it never does anything.
Yeah.
But when I tuck them away and then it keeps happening, then eventually there's a point where I'm like, okay, hold on. I'm like not okay now.
Right. And I think it's hard because sometimes I'm like, where did this come from? Like what? And it's so rare. It's like maybe twice a year.
Yeah.
Like that's how rare it is that I ever feel your stress.
That's probably true.
And I have to I've had conversations with my mom where I'm like, I have to remind myself like Ryan's allowed to have emotions about these things too. Because you're so just level most of the time, which is a good thing. Like you're my rock. So there's that.
No. What?
You guys.
Oh, boy.
Do you want any more babies?
Do I want
I
any
don't
more?
know how to ask.
Do I want any more babies?
You know how one of the episodes recently when we talked about how we had like one of these conversations and we could talk about it another time. I don't know if we want to talk about it this time, but I guess it's kind of coming up now. This was our conversation.
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, I think that my general reaction is like, no, not totally. Mainly because I love our little guy and I just feel like I have such a special relationship with him and I want to give everything I have to him. And I just feel like one that's to me feels like I would be split and that would be really hard. I can't wrap my head around that personally. So that's one. And two, I'm just a very practical person, as you know, and I don't practically know how we do it. Like we don't have room in this house to do it. To buy a house right now seems like the worst idea in the world. It's just not going to happen.
Yeah.
And I just love that we've been able to overcome the things that we thought would be big challenges having one child that would change our relationship. And it hasn't changed our relationship.
Yeah.
And I'm so proud of that and so happy. And I think that's like so positive for the long term. And having a second child, I feel like would put that to the test in a big way.
Yeah.
Not to say we couldn't do it, but it would be really hard. And I don't know. Then there's other stuff, but I think that's like the main things. But of course, I love the love we have for him and that the bond that's been, created between us as a result. So would I want that again? Of course. Who wouldn't want that again? But I think there's a lot of challenges to it right now.
Yeah.
And I know you feel differently, apparently, all of a sudden.
Now, okay, I guess this is probably one that I don't want to get into all this right now, but this is probably one of the ones that people are asking that they want because obviously we're like one and done in that video probably. But no, I think like it is hard. My heart feels so torn. And I have days where I'm like just constantly in prayer, like trying to have it so clear because there's days I feel like that I see it, like I see it so clearly for us and like growing our family, and others where I'm like, nope, like this is like everything God has for us and it's so perfect and abundant.
Yeah.
And then there's like the time running out and being a woman. And so, yeah, there's a lot to unpack. And of course, fears of what it could be or do if we did, and fears of what it could be or do if we don't, and if we even could, all those things. But anyway, this isn't my Q&A, so we can move on. Okay, so moving on.
Yeah.
What do you think husbands actually need but rarely ask for? We kind of talked about this a little bit, but there might be more there.
I would say support or comfort, I guess. Just in the sense of asking questions about, are things okay? Can I
Yeah.
help with anything? Like, I feel like that probably doesn't go this way as much and
Yeah.
just in general.
That makes sense.
But I think that guys do appreciate that. Like, it's not like you have to be like, oh, are you upset? Or, oh, like, can I comfort you? Like, not so bluntly, but more just like questions about, like, I'm listening.
Yeah.
I'm here to listen. I'm
Yeah.
curious about what's going on in your mind right now. It kind of goes back to like the stress thing, like thinking,
Yeah.
oh, they're probably totally fine.
Right.
It is helpful and nice when there's just like periodic check-ins of like, are you good? Can I do anything?
Totally. That makes sense. I think as women, we know all the things that we want. Like we want more comfort, more empathy, more understanding. But I think we forget that our men have a huge load as well on them and on their shoulders as far as like, I think inherently you've talked about this, but like, even though we both work and we work, everything, like you're kind of like, you're the male figure, the provider, the head of the house. Like there's all these things that go with that I think can build up and cause a lot of stress and burden and
Yeah,
need that
definitely.
support.
So a question here and there about how are you doing is helpful.
Do you think I'm good at that or I could be better?
I think you're better than most, but probably could be better.
Okay. I don't disagree. I
Yeah.
feel like, again, I always am like, you're good. Cool.
Yes.
Okay. Sometimes I feel like when I ask you, you think I'm being weird. Like
That probably
there
will.
are times like where
Yeah.
I'm like, are you okay? Whatever. And you're like, yeah, I'm fine.
Well, I think it's less about when there's something wrong
Yeah.
and more just randomly.
Yeah.
Is nice.
Okay.
Is good.
Okay. Got it. What is the best and worst thing about working together?
The best thing is our schedules being aligned and being able to spend time together and be flexible when we want to be and spend time with Luke and
Yeah.
not have to worry about anyone telling us what to do, both of us together. Because even if it's just one person that has that flexibility, that's only half as good, right? So
totally.
both of us being able to have that, I think, is great. The worst thing, I mean, it's just the case, not specific to us, it's the case for any entrepreneur.
Excuse me.
Bless you. It's just the case for any entrepreneur is that everything is on our shoulders and nobody will determine whether we succeed or not or whether we keep going or not. That is all up to us.
Yeah.
And every day we have to be willing to get up and figure that out and put plans in place to make that a reality. That's for both people to have that same responsibility and there's no safety net otherwise.
Yeah.
That's tough. It's stressful.
It is huge. It's not like you can just like slide by and know you're going to get a paycheck or quiet quit or any of the other stuff. It's like it's all or nothing because this is
Yeah.
what we have.
And for us, we have 5+ years under our belt of running this business. Most business don't last more than a year or so. So for that, I feel very grateful
Definitely.
and proud of that. But that doesn't mean tomorrow's guaranteed for anything we're doing. So we always have to be on top of it. And, it's pressure, but that's what we sign up for. And that's why we love doing this. So
It's true.
It's
I
all
love
good.
doing it with you.
Me too.
Yeah. All right, let's do one more question. What's one thing you wish you had time for or wish you made time for that you don't?
Different ways of relaxation. And so Stretching for sure, I think is number one.
Need to make time for that.
I used to do a little of an app that had some kind of nighttime, almost meditation. And I actually really like that. And I just got a notification that I could renew it for free with our insurance. And I did. And I'm going to try to go back to that. Just like 5-10 minute wind downs at night. Super nice, but I don't make time for that anymore. And then getting a massage every now and then as somebody who's super active.
Yeah.
It's not like a bougie thing. It's like a take care of your body
Like
thing.
an athlete. Yeah.
Yeah. I want to put that on the calendar. If I could do those three things on top of what I'm doing, I feel like I'd be in so much better of a place, but I just don't make time for them.
I think that's one thing, not this is a like Grill Ryan, well, it is a Grill Ryan kind of, but I think that that's one thing I agree with, and that helps with stress, that helps with everything. You don't create space for yourself to have like a more like, I guess like you have your physical stuff all the way down, your business and work and workouts and stuff. But I think for that like spiritual, mental, emotional side, I don't think you create time for yourself to like relax and grow and like develop in those ways.
Yeah, probably. I'm trying to just tie it to the goals I have, and that it's true if you do a lot of those things that the physical performance results will be even better.
Yeah.
So because I haven't been successful in just doing them, trying to tie it back to those and hopefully that helps.
And just like build those routines.
Yeah, build habits. So yeah, I'd say that's probably it for me.
Well, good. Okay, well, this is fun. I feel like there was so many more questions. I don't want to go too long. So if you guys like this episode, we can do more Q&As.
Yes.
We could do a combo one too.
Yeah, maybe my turn next.
Oh, to ask me questions?
Yes.
Okay, we can do that.
So
if you have questions,
drop them here, Instagram DM.
yeah, you can just send them to us randomly in a DM too. I did like a Q&A box, but you can send them anytime and we'll just save them and put them away for another time.
Also, a funny side note, if you listen to the episode before this, episode 3, we did that segment,
Buy it or block it.
Buy it or block it.
Yeah.
We did the segment Buy it or block it, and we said matcha and we said block it. I just realized there's a book sitting right next to you that says Matcha, a lifestyle guide.
Well, because it's a really cute pink book.
It is a cute book. I just thought that was really funny. We were both like block it on matcha.
I'm really into it.
And then people were probably looking at your camera side and we're like,
That's so
I don't know if you
funny.
can see that. Can you see
You
that
might
book?
be able to kind of see it just above my glittery Valentine's photo from Luke.
Anyways, we're still blocking it, but it's a cute book.
Yeah. All right, so if you guys are listening on iTunes or Spotify, make sure you subscribe and leave us a review. Let us know what you think of the podcast, and always drop us comments with things you want us to talk about next.
And feel free to DM us anytime on Instagram at LoveSoFitness or at Ryan Dunlop. We're here to help you on your journey.